far out, I'm a journeyman. And I was only 25 years of age at that point. And I didn't really embrace it early, to be honest. My son was born at the end of 2013. So before 2013, I'd played probably 50 games across 5 years.
Yeah.
From that point in time, like when my son come, I think I didn't miss a game I think I missed 2 games in my next 100.
Yeah.
There is Latimore, Jeremy Latimore. That's why he's the GOAT. The GOAT.
Retiring from rugby league, that I spoke about, you lose an identity and you've got to build a new identity.
So there's 5 questions I ask at the end of every podcast now. It's sort of like a consistent theme. And the 5 questions, the way I release this podcast is I release the full episode where this will be like a beautiful conclusion to the chat we've had and give people a really good idea of who you are and some closing wisdom, we'll call it.
Yeah.
Or they may be experiencing this as a trailer. So I put out a shorter episode as well. So people can come listen to just like 5 questions and 5 answers, which give them a really good idea of who you are and what the chat might have been like.
Yep.
And then if they love it, they dive into the full app.
Awesome.
So we'll jump into the 5 questions. It's the same for every guest. The first question is, if you could only recommend one book or one podcast to someone listening, what would it be?
The book I would recommend, I've just read that. I was telling that Ant Middleton's Zero Negativity, and it just speaks to me at the moment, trying to not have that negative mindset with shit. So definitely that. And I'm on the Jay Shetty train for a podcast at the moment. He's just, covers all topics and
so good.
Really speaking to me at the moment as well.
You know what I like about Jay is one of my favourite quotes of all time is by him, where he was on another podcast as a guest, and they asked him, what's one thing that you don't value that others do? And he said, being understood. And I'm like, fuck, I reckon that's something to work towards in life. The power of not feeling like you need everyone to understand who you are or why you do things. Like, that guy is so wise.
So wise. And he'd follow him on Instagram. I've only recently started following him, but mate, every day I'm screenshotting whatever he puts up and go back in the archives
quality,
and pick you up on a down day.
The cool thing about him is he's spiritual, but he's also very practical. He's spiritual, he's got that monk background. There's other guys who are like him, but it's not practical for the everyday human being who goes to a 9-to-5 job and, has to pick up the kids from school or pay the bills. Like, he's got practical wisdom that makes life easier and simpler for people who are doing everyday tasks.
Simple. I think, human psychology, overcomplicate shit, keep it simple.
Definitely.
Which I have to remind myself daily as well. I'm not all over this yet.
Right, I'm the same. It's always a work in progress.
Yeah.
The second is, what's one skill you'd recommend mastering that significantly improved your life?
Yeah, being able to talk to people. Just, being able to get around a room and, talk to a bloke who's the CEO of a company to being able to talk to the bloke who's the garbage truck man. Just, and that's, I feel, maybe I'm lucky in the aspect I've always had rugby league to talk about, and people want to talk about footy and if they know you're a footy player. But I feel like it's just a skill that I've always had where I can, relate to people and have something to talk about. But if you can talk to anyone in the room, you're going to be successful.
Yeah, I love that. The third, this is an interesting little shift of pace here, is the one challenge you face that has required the most resilience to overcome. Yeah,
probably the one that's retiring from rugby league. That I spoke about. You lose an identity and you got to build a new identity. Probably that. You go from being around 30 lads, training, doing whatever, doing the job that you've dreamt about since you were a young bloke, to now I'm in the business world. I'm mortgage broker and I work with the Dragons. I do stuff with the NRL. Obviously still aligned with, some of it aligned with rugby league, but just having to build that new identity. And how I do that is through structure, training every day, stuff with the family, just building things around it. So I'm looking after the head noise and the mental health upstairs.
Like we said, that Jocko Willink link, discipline equals freedom. I love that. So true. Yep. The fourth is, what's a daily habit or ritual? It could be a morning routine or an evening routine that sets you up for a day of success. Yep.
Probably training. I train every single day. But like I mentioned, I meditate. I try and meditate every day. I train every day, and I do gratitude every night.
Is every day a morning session?
I take that back. Meditate might be only 5 days a week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll train 6-7 days a week. And
mate.
Gratitude nearly pretty well 7 nights a week. It's only if I forget.
I love it.
Yeah.
I've actually found probably similar to what you're saying there. I used to do like a bit of journaling in the morning. So I had a really solid morning routine. I'd get up 4:45, 4:30 most days, probably 6 out of 7 days. And I'll get up, listen to a podcast or audio book, have a stretch, have a roll, get the old body moving, 26 and it feels fucking 56 at times.
Come see me in 10 years, brother.
And with your knocks to an injuries, bloody hell.
Yeah.
And then I'll go for a run or go to the gym or a walk or whatever, jump in the ocean, grab a coffee, then I'd come back and like journal. But I found the best time to journal, reflect was actually in the night for me. Because I'm naturally a pretty positive guy. And I found like in the morning I was already positive anyways.
Well, you're waking up fresh, right?
Waking up fresh.
Nighttime, you've had your day's experiences.
Some things have gone wrong.
Yeah. Mate, that poor person was awesome. Far out, I did this. 100%. And because, mate, funny you say, that's something I'm trying to get into my daily routine as well because, you know, I'm up and down with a few things in my life. And, I find when I am doing that, like, and you blah on the paper, you feel better.
Feel better, bro.
Yeah.
You can just get it out of your head. You can go to bed and then you can bloody assess it tomorrow if you need to.
Correct. And tomorrow's always a new day as well.
Exactly. And then you look at it with new perspective and you have a laugh. Usually you're like, fuck, what was I stressing about that for yesterday?
For sure.
Yeah. The fifth and final question, the most important question for me, and I think, you know, a really good opportunity for anyone who comes on the podcast is, you know, what message would you share with the world if you can encourage them to act on it? If there was one message you'd want to give to the people listening or watching, what would that message be?
Mate, especially, you know, the Paddy, the USC guy the other day, check on your friends, check on your family. You know, you don't know what any individual's going through and, you know, just through simply asking how someone's doing, it might change their whole day. You don't want to lose a loved one and that simple conversation and putting your arm around a mate can change, you know, that person's life.
For sure. And, you know, you said it there, the simple conversation. Conversation is so powerful. Like it connects people. It allows people to overcome problems. You know, I always hope that when someone's sitting here listening to or watching this, that the guests that I have on, they'll be inspired by their story and find something in themselves to realise that, fuck, everyone's got the opportunity to live a great, happy life.
Yeah.
You just got to find what that means and what that looks like for yourself. And, mate, it's been a pleasure to sit here with you. You know, and I say this all the time on the podcast because I'm very selective with who I have on. But you're a very good human, mate. You can tell that. And everyone I've spoken to thus far who's had an experience with you says really big things about you, not just for how funny you were or for the fact that you're a great footy player, but for the fact that you're a really good human. And that's what I love. I love when you can sit down with someone who is known for a certain thing, and for you it's rugby league at this point in your life anyways, and they go, yeah, footy, he's a good footy player, but fuck, he's a good man. So, mate, congratulate you on all your success thus far and looking forward to staying in touch.
Mate, thanks, Brad. I really appreciate you having me on, mate. As I said, I've come across your stuff and as an outsider, and now you're a mate. You're changing people's lives and you're having a crack. And to follow your dream and go away from something where you weren't earning good money, that was a thing which I mentioned to you, like really spoke to me, following that purpose and passion. And, you know, for all the people who listen or watch, I think that's like a key message, you know, to do what you're doing, mate. You're doing awesome. And thanks for the kind words as well. And
mate,
that's
I appreciate
something I am always humbled by.
Mate, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you
so much.
Cheers.